Hey guys, welcome to the video. Thanks for joining today. Today, I'm going to do my initial impressions video on the Atreyu Daily Trainer 2. I used to run in Atreyu shoes quite a bit back when they first came out. They first started out with a subscription model with their base model. It was a shoe with a 6mm drop. It had 26mm and 26.5 millimeters in the forefoot, 20.5 in the forefoot, and it was a EVA based foam. You actually ran on the EVA foam. It was a little bit rubberized, but they did not promise a lot of miles, and I usually got 180 to 200 miles. But when they very first started, they tried a subscription model where you would sign up and get a new pair of shoes every so often. I think I had got 3 or 4 pair of the base model. I really enjoyed them. Not for long runs, but for daily runs, they worked very well. They were very lightweight. I'm trying to remember, 7.5 ounces, something like that. But they were very lightweight and good shoes. I later got the base model 2, which was the same design, but it had a supercritical EVA foam that made them a little bouncier. I've also run in a couple pair of the Artist, which was their less expensive version of a super shoe. It had a full carbon fiber plate. It had a supercritical foam, and they were very nice. I ran in 2 pair of those. Have not run in Atreyu shoes for a while because I work at the running store and we don't sell them. And I get a discount at the running store, so I haven't been buying Atreyu shoes. But I've still been very interested in the brand. I ended up reaching out to Michael, who is the founder and designer, and asked if he maybe could send me their new Daily Trainer 2. This is it. It is definitely the most expensive shoe they have sold from Atreyu. Their race model, their carbon fiber plated shoe, was selling for $120. These are now $170. But they have made some upgrades to the materials that I think are going to make it worthwhile. I think it's a good competitor. There are a lot of shoes in that price range that are probably competitive with it, but I do think it's probably got a place there. Some of the features it has, when they sent me the shoe, they're now sending a box. Back in the old days when you're on the subscription model, you just got the shoes in a bag. They were trying to save the environment, but now they are selling a $170 shoe. They are sending you a box. In the box, they're also sending, I got what they call their teen colorway. They also sell a standard colorway, which is more of a gray colored upper, and it has black lettering. But they do also send a second pair of laces. So that it came with the yellow laces in it, but they also send me white laces, so I can go all white if I want. I think it's a pretty good looking shoe. But then they also send a letter with it talking a little bit about the features you got in your new shoe. And it is signed by Michael, who is the founder and footwear designer. But it talks about some of their new things they're putting in this shoe. The first thing it talks about is their grip cast. They used to have, like I said, the first ones were just a rubberized EVA. Then in some of their models, and in the Artist and the race shoe and the first models of the Daily Trainer, they used rubber, but it was just a regular rubber, and it wasn't real thick, so it wore through. This is still a pretty thin compound, but you can see it's got really good coverage, and it's made out of CPU, which is and they're calling it grip cast in their case. They're saying it's a 2mm thick grip. They're calling it grip cast. The CPU is also what they're using in the brand Mount to Coast. They make their R1, and it has the CPU outsole, and it's what they're saying their shoes are lasting 600-800 miles and sometimes more. So this is supposed to be a very durable outsole, and it's very lightweight. So I think that's a good thing. The next thing they talk about, they're calling their new midsole compound Cush, but it is made out of 60% TPEE, supercritical foam, and 40% P-back, so it should be very bouncy, and it's lightweight. Then they're going on the uppers. They have an astronet. They call it astronet upper. which is a engineered mesh. It's kind of a tougher weave. I'm not sure if it would be comfortable barefooted in it, but with my socks, I wore them today and they felt great. So, and they do lock down well. It bends the net well, and it stays on well. It is definitely, I think it's going to definitely breathe well because you can see my fingers through it. I don't know if you can or not in the picture, but it's a see-through net mesh that has lots of breathability. I can tell. The heel collar is lightly padded, but there's enough there. I think it makes it comfortable. They have a nice pull tab, which I find nice. Their tongue is actually very thin. It's not as thin as they had on their original base model, but it's very thin. But it's still enough that it was comfortable today on today's run. I think it's enough to take away the lace bite and keep you from being uncomfortable from the laces. It is a gusseted tongue, fully gusseted with. It's attached on both sides, so the tongue won't move on you. Anyway, I think the materials they're using are very good, and I'm hoping it's going to last a lot of miles. They're expecting it to. They're not promising a certain amount of miles, but they're expecting it to last quite well. It's also kind of cool like the way they put their logo into the cushioning, their name, and then on the side they tell you right here 6mm offset, and then it's a neutral shoe, which I think is cool. I also just think it's kind of cool the way they name their shoes. They're very much named for what you think they should be used for. This is called the Daily Trainer 2. It's for daily training. They have the race shoe, which is for racing. They have they had the trail, the base trail, which was their trail shoe. So they just very plainly name the shoe what they think they should be good for. Anyway, in running in these, I have not been able to do a whole lot in them yet, but I walked about 3 miles in them today, and today I ran 3.4. I will say wearing them around walking, they feel very similar to they're extremely soft. They feel very similar to my Ultra Torrens, which are very soft. I have complained a little bit that in the Ultra Torrens, I feel like they're very soft and comfortable. They're great for wearing around and walking in, but they're not, I don't enjoy them running because they're not poppy enough. These definitely have enough pop to make them comfortable. I would say today's, I'm not in a lot of shape because I had back injury, so I'm not running very hard right now. But the underfoot feel actually reminded me a lot of my Topo Magnaflies, which are actually a zero drop shoe. They're 25mm of stack height in the heel and the forefoot. But it may not sound like a compliment, but these have been like my favorite shoes over the last several months. So it being a comparable sort of underfoot feel was very nice. I think I will probably notice the responsiveness more when I pick up the pace some, and I'm able to. Another shoe that I will eventually compare them to will be the Topo Cyclone. It is higher stack height at 30mm in the heel and 24 in the forefoot, whereas the Cyclone is 28 and 23, and it's pure P-back. So I'm assuming the pure P-backs one will probably be a bit bouncier, but this was going to be a little bit thicker cushion, so it'll be a trade-off, but I'm looking forward to comparing them eventually once I'm able to run a little bit faster. It'll be a little while before I'm able to do a full review on these. I am having a surgery this week, so it'll probably be a couple months before I get enough miles in to really tell you much about how the wear is going, to tell you how they work on wet roads and things like that. But I am looking forward to getting in some miles and telling some more. Probably the most similar shoe in my lineup, I didn't bring out right now, but it's probably the Mountain Coast R1. Partly because it uses the same sort of CPU outsole rubber. They both use a supercritical foam with P-backs in it, kind of a mixture. So the foam should be very similar. I'll have to see if the ride is similar after I'm able to run more. The stack height of the R1 is definitely higher than this. It's 35 in the heel and 27 in the forefoot, so it should be a more cushioned ride. Again, it may be better for the really long distances. This may be better for a daily trainer. I just need more testing before I can say that either way. Anyway, those are really my initial thoughts on the Atreyu, the Daily Trainer 2. If you found it interesting, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day and keep moving.